So I'm making this video really at popular request because various people and viewers of JTV have asked for me to comment on this, even though I don't think there is much to say, to be honest. But the reason why there perhaps is something to say is because of not the topic, but the platform of the person that spoke about this. Candace Owens has a massive platform in America. That's where she's based, but she obviously has a global audience. And she interviewed a former US Marine, a veteran, who was on the USS Liberty, which was an American military ship that was attacked by Israel. Now, I want to give some background to this because it's important to understand the context. The USS Liberty, which was the name of the ship, the incident occurred on June the 8th, 1967, during the Six-Day War between Israel and several Arab states, where the surrounding Arab armies were planning to attack Israel. It was an annihilationist intention to try and eradicate the nascent Jewish state, which had been re-established in 1948, and the United States Navy's USS Liberty, which was an intelligence-gathering ship, was attacked by the Israeli air and naval forces in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Now, the incident tragically resulted in the death of 34 US crew members and 171 others were injured, and the person that Candace is interviewing was one of those people that was on the ship. Now, the attack, what happened was Israeli fighter jets and motor torpedo boats targeted the USS Liberty, and the ship was actually marked as being American and flying the US flag. Now, Israel said in response, Israel claimed the attack was a tragic mistake, and they said they had misidentified the Liberty as an Egyptian ship, believing it to be El Qusair aiding Arab forces, and they argued the ship was in a war zone and their forces acted on faulty intelligence. America reacted by saying, obviously with shock and outrage, and there were both Israeli and US inquiries that concluded the attack was unintentional. And there's been various conspiracy theories that come about in the aftermath, but Israel formally apologized, paid $13 million at the time, this is in the 60s, in compensation to the families of victims and for damages to the ship. And that's basically the story. Now, Candace interviews this guy, and it seems to be trying to create a notion that this was intentionally done by Israel, and reveals all kinds of deeper, sinister, anti-American and hostile intentions of Israel. And I want to unpack this because the whole thing is frankly absurd. People who are hostile to Jews, ultimately, they will comb through anything and everything to find something to try and tarnish the Jewish people or the Jewish state in this case. This is a one-off human error tragedy that occurred in the 1960s. And because of that, you want to point to that and say, right, therefore, now that means Israel. Decades later, when it was a one-off, there's no pattern here of Israel doing things against America. Are you seriously trying to tell me, Candace, that Israel intentionally chose to wage a war against the American Navy, against America? Is that what you're telling me? So you've got a one-off occurrence that's clearly an utter tragedy, and I'm so sorry for all the people that suffered as a result of this, but it's clearly a case of friendly fire. There's no long-term pattern of these things playing out again and again. It was decades and decades and decades ago, and therefore what? You want to use it's so desperate. It's so desperate. So just for a bit more information for people to understand, the attack occurred during the Six-Day War, which was a immediate, quick war where Israel wasn't expecting it, and had to act very, very fast in a period of intense, fast-moving conflict. Israel's facing existential threats from multiple fronts, and it had to heighten its military alertness to any potential hostile actions. Now, in that time, the USS Liberty was mistakenly identified, believed to be conducting hostile actions near the war zone. Now look, the USS Liberty was flying US flags, but Israeli pilots reported not seeing it due to visibility issues. A previous flag sighting had been dismissed as an error when reports of an Egyptian vessel in the area was received. And the ship's markings, including its hull number, were not clear during the aerial and naval strikes. And once Israeli forces realized the ship was American, the attack was immediately halted and assistance was offered. And the Israeli government expressed profound regret and took responsibility for the mistake. They had no logical motive. Of course, conspiracy theorists will rush to find potential motives. They had no logical motive for doing this. Israel and the United States were allies at the time. The US was Israel's most important strategic partner, providing diplomatic and military support. Deliberately attacking an American ship would have jeopardized this alliance, which is vital for Israel's survival, especially during the war. And there's been numerous investigations, including those by the US Navy, the NSA, and Israeli military, which concluded the attack was a mistake. And although questions may remain, there is no evidence that conclusively proves that it was deliberate. So here are some of the conspiracy theory claims. Claim Israel attacked the Liberty to prevent the US from learning about its operations in the Sinai. So let's be clear, the USS Liberty was not equipped for tactical military surveillance, but it was an intelligence gathering vessel focused on intercepting communications across a broad region. Furthermore, the presence of such a ship was well known, and its findings would not have been unique or shocking to the US intelligence apparatus. Another claim, the US and Israel conspired to sink the ship and blamed Egypt to justify American intervention in the war. Again, there is no evidence of US complicity. On the contrary, the incident caused significant tension between the two nations, including protests by American officials and survivors. Claim 3, Israel was angry with the US for its perceived lack of support and attacked the Liberty to send a message. This theory lacks logic and evidence. The US was providing critical diplomatic support during the Six-Day War, and any hostility towards the US would have been self-destructive for Israel. The USS Liberty incident is best understood as a tragic incident driven by the chaos of war, miscommunication, and human error. Israel had no legal or strategic reason to deliberately attack its closest ally, and investigations have consistently failed to substantiate conspiracy theories. And while, of course, the incident will, of course, remain controversial and painful, its enduring lessons emphasize, the importance of communication and identification protocols in avoiding such tragedies, of course. But my point is that if Candace is trying to point to something, make some kind of broader point here, she would need to show that this is something that has happened more than once. It's consistently happening on many occasions at a high level of intensity like this. And she doesn't. It's clutching at straws. This is something that happened in 1967. There's no compelling evidence that it's intentional. It'd be absurd for Israel to do this intentionally. And frankly, when the only reason that I could argue that she's pointing to this is because she has a deeper agenda of undermining the one and only Jewish state. I'm sure this veteran is going to have all kinds of deeply held emotions, and I can't imagine what it must have been like to go through that. Must have been so traumatizing, so scary. But war is a horrendous thing. And as former Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir said, if the Arabs basically would lay down their weapons, there'd be peace tomorrow. If Israel laid down her weapons and didn't have to fight back and didn't engage in wars, there would be no Israel. It's that simple. We all want peace. But quite frankly, I think there's a really sinister agenda here. And it's very sad to see occurring with Candace. But if you've made it so far into this video, that means you probably appreciate what it is we're trying to do at JTV, which is that there's all these kind of outlets out there, like that you've just seen, online outlets that are spreading misinformation, that are really just misinforming people and poisoning them against Israel and the Jewish people. And the purpose of JTV and these kind of videos is to fight back, to share the truth about Israel, and also create pro-Semitism. And we've been doing a campaign, as you can see in the little title over here. We're doing a campaign right now to raise funds to grow our channel so we can start to compete more seriously. If you have a look here, this is our campaign right now. We're in the middle of it. We're at, where are we up to? 32% of our goal. And I'd be so grateful if you appreciate what we're doing and you want to partner with us to take JTV to the next level. If you would chip in the link in the video description below this video to help us grow. What do we want to do in order to grow? What are we all about? That can all be explained right now. Have a watch. The world is full of lies.
That Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bear criminal responsibility.
The truth is under attack.
Which river, which sea? So you don't know the
From the media to the UN to celebrities, lies reign supreme. But the thing about the truth is that no matter how dark a room of lies, if you light one candle of truth, it can light up the whole room. That's why I created JTV, the global Jewish YouTube channel. We have been lighting the flame of truth on social media. We believe that the key to defeating anti-Semitism isn't just in fighting the hate, but it's about creating pro-Semitism and sharing the truth. There's nothing inevitable about anti-Semitism. We just need to tell our story with confidence, pride, and love. We believe that telling the truth, exposing the lies, and sharing the wisdom and beauty found within the Jewish story and the ideas of Judaism can transform the world. We're reaching millions of people all around the world from all backgrounds and perspectives. Every day we are transforming people's views about Israel, Jews, and Judaism. How do we know? Because they tell us. But there's so much more we can do. It's time for us to build a team to accelerate our growth and produce way more content that can appeal to even more people. We want to hire more presenters, start doing documentary series, and way more. And if we do that, JTV will start competing with the other big media players who peddle anti-Israel narratives. And that's where you come in. I'm asking you to please partner with us on our journey to spread the truth to the entire world by donating whatever you can to this fundraiser. Together, we will harness the power of social media to shine the light of truth to the whole world. Thank you so much for your support. So that's our video, and look, there's so many people getting such misinformation, like those videos that Candace and others will be putting out there. So please help us to compete in an even more serious way with these anti-Israel, anti-Jewish online channels that have such a big impact. But we can do the same if we're given the means. What's amazing about this campaign is that I asked viewers over the last few months, I said, we're going to be doing a campaign. Would you consider running a team page to contact all your network and your potential people that might support and support the page, support the campaign? And so many JTV viewers, people that I don't know, these are all team pages. People have taken pages to support the cause. It's just, I've just been so touched. You know, often with these campaigns, you have family and friends that will do it, but most people here are just people that appreciate what it is that we're doing on JTV. And it's been a real testament to, I think, the impact that we're having online. We're reaching millions of people every single week, but there's so much more that we can do, and we can do that with your help. So once again, if you're able to, please click on that link, help us, and I think the impact that we can make together can be really, really significant. So the campaign is live right now this week. Please do help us reach our target. Thank you so much.